Welcome, everybody, to a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video today. And this week sees the release of the dramatic and historic foreign action epic, The Swordsman, hitting store shelves along with the comedy, the very excellent Mr. Dundee. Season 1 of the HBO series Lovecraft Country is coming out, and if that wasn't all, we also have Paramount Pictures releasing a Blu-ray edition of the Nickelodeon comedy Good Burger. Such nostalgia. Plus much, much more. So let's go see the deals, exclusives, and we are at our first location, Walmart. So let's go in and see what they got. Alright guys, I am in at the first Walmart location, and I was actually getting ready to leave because I'm not gonna lie, there wasn't much over in the new release section, and I was like, oh, not again. However, I'm kind of shocked because one of the older employees, one of the female older employees who I've gotten to know since doing the out and abouts, she was telling me like there's like 4 or 5 different like younger employees, and no one's putting out the media, and it's all in the back. So she's like, box it up, put it in like plastic cases, and I'll put it out. So she's literally putting out the media right now for me to show off. Really nice chick who is actually putting out the media for me right now, which is amazing. So you know what, I am very thankful for this woman. She is awesome. So I'm just waiting to show off the media so she can, you know, put up the new releases. Somebody who actually cares. I could get used to this. Alright, we are finally going to check out the media at Walmart. Now, first of all, I gotta give a big ups to the older employee, the older chick that actually works here in the media section, because she did her job, man. Look, there is some new releases to check out this week, way better than we normally get with this Walmart, I'm not gonna lie. And speaking of the normal Walmart trend that we sign, finally seeing Greenland and Freaky. It only took them a week to put out the media here for these 2 titles. A little bit late, dare I say, but hey, better late than never? Sure, we'll go with that one, guys. So they finally have Greenland and Freaky, thank God. But as I said, some new media on release week? Oh my God, be still my heart. Let's check out the first title, and that is none other than the Blu-ray of The Swordsman for $14.96, the DVD for $12.96. Now, I got a chance to check this out on Amazon Prime, and I wanted to because I do love a good sword epic movie. Don't we all? I mean, at a certain point, I just love seeing somebody take a really sharp knife and stabbing people who deserve it. I don't know why, I just really do, man. Maybe it's my cold heart or something, whatever, but I wanted to check it out, man. Now, I didn't really know much about the movie. I know that it was based in some historical fact and events, but basically it's about these 2 sort of warring factions, empires going at each other, and it's this one warrior that's sort of caught in between. He's blind, he kind of goes his own way until his daughter is threatened, and then he comes back out to fight against these evil people and their intentions, and basically wreaks havoc on everybody that's going against him and his daughter, man. Now, I gotta admit, see, to be real with you guys, the story is pretty decent. It's sort of been there, done that. We've seen these type of stories before where, oh, hey, you know, this one single man is going up against an entire empire and army. We've seen it done many times before. It's not that it's anything new, but I gotta admit, man, the swordplay here is what makes this movie what it is, because the swordplay is exquisite. It's amazing. I loved everything about it. Thought it was brilliant, man, and it's just really well choreographed, and it's violent as hell, man. I mean, there is certain sword epics that it kind of let me down over the years. Like, there's that one with Jet Li called Hero, which is an okay one. It's not bad, but the problem with it is the action. Anytime he sort of killed somebody or took somebody down, it kind of felt tame. It was missing the blood and the gore and the cuts and everything. But here, though, you see it when this person cuts into like flesh. He's cutting, stabbing, you know, ripping heads off, throats. You name it, man. The brutality is there. The blood is there. The action is very well done. I mean, it is a foreign release, so there is subtitles to it. Sometimes the plot is a little, not boring exactly, but a little mundane. But what kept me going was the action, and the action is exquisitely done, well choreographed, and just extremely kick-ass, man. That's what is worth seeing for this movie, man, and it delivers in spades. It's beautiful to look at. The cinematography is amazing. The acting's pretty much well done. So overall, dare I say, if you're into sword movies, and I mean, come on, who isn't? Epic foreign sword movies, and there's quite a lot of them out there. Not all are great. Not saying Swordsman is the best out there, but as far as swordplay, I think it's pretty well worth it. And then the next title I'm seeing is the Blu-ray of The Informer for $14.96. The DVD for $12.96. Now, I got a chance to watch this one on Amazon Prime as well, and I wanted to watch it because I kind of thought the trailer was pretty kick-ass, man. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm like, okay, good cast, interesting plot. What the hell, I'm gonna give it a go, man. So that's what I did. Basically, it's about Joel Kinnaman's character, who is recruited by the FBI to try to take down this mob boss. And this mob boss is kind of like wanting to peddle these drugs and the criminal underground, and he's kind of stuck between two worlds. Whether to really help the FBI, these people who make all these promises but don't really deliver, or the crime boss who's literally threatening his family. And he has to go back into prison and sort of be undercover, but yet help the crime boss move drugs. And it's sort of this difficult situation of loyalty and corruption and power that is really pretty well done, man. I'm not gonna lie. I did like the story. Thought it was very well done. I mean, mind you, let's be real here. As far as these type of movies are concerned, it's not like we haven't seen this type of movie before. Oh, this guy has to, go between different loyalties and his family is threatened. It's not like this is the most original thing of all time, but I thought it was pretty well executed for the most part, man. I mean, Joel Kinnaman, pretty badass here. I really like Clive Owen, and Common is actually pretty decent here as well. Rosamund Pike, I mean, for the most part, they actually did pull it off pretty well, dare I say, man. And I thought overall, I like the dramatic effects. I like getting to know the characters. Having Joel Kinnaman have this family, these young kids, and this young wife. You get to know him, you get to feel for him and understand him, and it's a good character study of a man that's really walking a tightrope of who to trust. And I think it's a very well done movie. Like I said, it's not the most original movie in the world, but with the good acting and the story executed pretty well. And I'm not gonna lie, if you make me feel for the characters and I can understand them and feel for the situation, then a movie that's been there, done that, tends to be elevated a little bit. And The Informer, not the most original, not the best among the bunch, but it will suffice. Now, this one I definitely did not see this week, and that is A Call to Spy for $12.96. Oh, from Shout Factory, too. Okay, not bad. I like the cover. Churchill's Secret Army, inspired by true stories. An interesting World War II tale? I think that's what I'm sensing, guys. I think that's indeed. Let's see what this one is about. As Great Britain's forces were stretched Then during World War II, Winston Churchill's Special Operations Executive began to enlist women as spies. Tony mission conducts sabotage. Oh, really? For Miss Moneypenny. Well, you were the secret army. I can select two unusual candidates. Yes. Nazi regime in France. Tied to the war. Wow, really? That's intriguing. I'm not gonna lie, man. Seriously. This was a real thing, huh? Recruited female spies and actually the inspiration for Miss Moneypenny. Damn, I did not know that. That's actually some really interesting stuff. Seriously. Did not know that at all, man. That's fascinating. Wow. Dude, this looks kind of cool, man. And I've told you guys so many times that I love World War II movies. But what I love even more about World War II, right, is all of the unique and different tales within World War II, right? All of the different spies and the sabotage missions and the Nazi stuff going on. Like, I gotta tell you, the tales within World War II are just amazing, man. Really fascinating stuff. I mean, honestly, guys, not every spy movie is created equal. Some are better than others, but I do love a really good spy tale. I just love the deception and the intrigue and the suspense. Like, all of it's just really well done overall, and I really do enjoy it quite a bit. For me, it could just be a really great dramatic tale. There's so much great stuff to mine from World War II, still to this day. I mean, this story I had never even heard of. So there's still really great stuff to mine from that time period. And it looks like this is a really intriguing one to me. And seriously, the inspiration for Miss Moneypenny. Who would have ever thought, man? I mean, I know the James Bond stuff is like inspiration from back in the day, like the spy stuff from like World War II and all that jazz, but like, I mean, sometimes I don't know the inspiration to some of these things, so that's really cool. This actually looks pretty awesome, man. I gotta admit, I'm a big fan of spy movies for the most part, and A Call to Spy looks like something that's right down my alley. And then I'm seeing they have Horizon Line for $14.96. Fly or die. Jeez, which one am I gonna pick? My God, it doesn't seem like that hard of a decision. I'm just saying. From the creators of 10 Cloverfield Lane and The Shallows. Okay. I like the cover. Cover's really nice, man. Boy, that plane is so fucked. Oh, man. Now, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime. And, I don't know, I just actually kind of wanted to check it out on a whim and see if it was worth it, to be honest with you. I mean, truly. Because it's got an interesting idea from it. Basically, it's about this former couple that has been on again and off again and on again and off again, and then they're sleeping together and then they're off again. Oh boy, the love drama in this one, Jesus, thick. And they're going to this wedding. They're both boarding this single plane, and while they're in the air, the pilot actually gets a fatal heart attack, and he's gone. He dies. And so they don't know exactly how to fly the plane exactly, and so now their fate is in their own hands. They got to try to fly this plane to safety, and trying to figure out, how to navigate the plane, where the hell they're going, figure out their fuel situation. I mean, you name it. They are literally screwed in almost every aspect, man. And it's just the fight for survival and try to survive and trust one another. That's kind of what it is, man. I gotta admit, I did like the movie, and it is a terrifying idea of basically your pilot basically going tits up and dying, on you, and now you're screwed and you've got to fly this thing and you have no idea how to fly. It's the tension of being in the air and the unknowns of flying this plane and trying to figure out the controls. It's literally terrifying if you really think about it. Put yourself in that situation. It is a terrifying thought, no doubt about it, man. And I like the movie, as I said, overall. I think the characters are interesting. I like the dynamic that the two of them have together, where they truly are connected with one another, but they have such trust issues that they're trying to come together to fly this thing, and sort of the stress and the fear and the terrifying tension is all sort of mixing into one. I like it overall. I do have to admit the movie at times feels a little long in the tooth. I mean, the movie is only like 90 minutes. 90-ish minutes at that. It is, but I gotta admit, it felt at times kind of long to me, kind of dragged out. And I don't really know what they actually could have cut from the movie, essentially. I mean, really, most of it is needed. It just felt like long. It felt like kind of dragged out. They're just talking about their lives, and they're going from one bad situation to the next, and then they're talking about the relationship, and they don't trust you because they have trust issues from the past. And the fear and the tension is good in the movie, but the love drama stuff feels a little heavy-handed to me, and feels a little much, and kind of like, okay, this could have been a really cool, terrifying story, and it kind of turns into a melodrama. So overall, I enjoyed the film. I liked it. I liked the overall like scary situation of being on a plane and trying to navigate it, and the tension of that. But I don't know if it was fully successful, especially with the characters and the love drama stuff. Kind of took away from the movie, and it needed something a little bit more, something a little bit extra, a little bit more impactful. It comes across as a good little movie, a good little survival film, but it doesn't reach the heights of being very memorable. It's decent for an hour and a half time waster of on the plane survival flick, but outside of that, not much else, man. Again, I like the tension idea of going on the wing of the plane and putting more fuel in, or having to go into a storm and worry about the clouds and the visibility, and like there's a lot of really great ideas here for the movie overall. And Horizon Line has a lot of really great ideas, but I don't know if it can actually stick the landing. Pun totally intended. It's decent, but don't go in expecting it to be like this most amazing horror survival tale, because it definitely has its faults. And then something real quick I'm seeing over here, guys. I'm seeing they have My Hero Academia Season 4 Part 2, the Blu-ray DVD digital, for $44.96. I've told you guys before, I literally know nothing about any of this anime stuff, My Hero Academia. However, somebody at a Best Buy once told me that My Hero Academia would be a really great starter for me getting into anime. About, if I was into superheroes and comic books and stuff like that, it's really intriguing to get into. And I remember him telling me a lot about it, and it seemed really interesting at the time. I don't know about like paying $44.96 for like a half of a season, though. That seems a little excessive to me, man. I mean, if I'm gonna get into it, I kind of want to get into it kind of on the cheap to see if I like it first. I don't mind paying good money for something I really like, but if I don't really know about it first, I'm not sure about spending all that cash, though. I mean, definitely let me know what you think. Is it worth it for that price? I mean, definitely let me know about that one. Then the other thing I'm seeing, and I gotta show this one off. What the hell is this, man? It's a Blu-ray digital of Toilet Bound Hanukkah-kun. God, I'm probably butchering the shit out of that, man. What in the world is this, dude? And why is it called Toilet Bound? What in the hell? The complete series. Now, that's for $44.96 as well. Be careful what you wish for. Especially if you're toilet bound. Oh, what the hell? Oh, God. There's many mysteries. Investigating one of them ends up linked to the ghost. They're trying to keep things civil between student and supernatural. Okay, that is so now what an anime called Toilet Bound. I was not expecting this synopsis. The synopsis is kind of cool though, with mischief and the students and some sort of supernatural ghostly entity. That is weird and interesting. I gotta tell you, man, anime goes down some really wild and weird areas, man. They really honestly do, dude. God, some crazy stuff they get into. Man, that's kind of nutty. It's cool. It looks cool though. I like the cover, man. Really intrigued. That's just why is it called Toilet Bound? That's just one thing I'm wondering about. Why? What the hell? I have no idea, man. If you guys know anything about this, let me know. Well, very interesting they have it over at Walmart. Not gonna lie, man. Very interesting indeed. And some interesting stuff here, dare I say. I mean, not all of the new releases, mind you. They don't have Lovecraft Country and they don't have Arch Enemy, a couple things. But I gotta admit, guys, I came in here thinking I wasn't gonna see anything new. And this surprised me in a big bad way. It truly, honestly did. And we also get the new releases from last week as well. So, typical and some surprises as well. I gotta admit, pretty happy man this week for this Walmart. Very happy indeed. Alright, let's head out. And this is why we do the out and abouts, guys. Holy shit. Not gonna lie, man. I was coming in here, I'm like, okay, it's going to be a typical first Walmart week. I know it, it's gonna happen. Not much to do about it, just to comment on it and go about my day. But nope, this week was different. And the only reason is the older employee, the older and very nice lady here at this Walmart, man. And she literally, by the way, I was listening to her. She was scolding the younger employees for not putting out the physical media. Like she was like, this guy comes in and shows off the media and we got nothing out here. It's new release Tuesday, these gotta be out. She was scolding them. Like seriously, and she's not the manager of the department, okay? She's just an old school employee that actually wants to get the shit out. Oh, God love her, man. God love her. She is great, okay? She is awesome, okay? And just the fact that she put out the media is very cool, dude. I am so happy to see the media out here. I can't say that every week we're going to get all the media. There is going to be a lot of weeks where it's going to be like a no-show. But this week, thanks to that woman, I am a very, very happy camper. And I hope you guys are too. It's nice to see some good media from time to time, guys. Not half bad. And she definitely delivered for us. Thank her ever-loving, wonderful heart. Not bad. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely did. Surprise, surprise. Let's head to the next location and see some more physical media worth checking out. All right, everybody. We are at our second location, Target. But before we go in, I gotta talk to you guys about something. Of course I do, man. I'm always searching the articles on the web, all that good, juicy stuff about physical media that I love sharing with you guys. And I got another one for you. So, this is an interesting article. It says, this is a big reason why physical media isn't dead. So, let's get into this little article. The other day, my partner needed a bit of a pick-me-up film to watch after a stressful day at work. And so we decided to rent Trading Places starring Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd off Apple Movies. Easy enough. And there's a load of other classics on there too. But towards the end of the film, I asked my girlfriend if she'd ever seen Cocoon from 1985. I hadn't seen it myself in years, and Emily has never been big on films. Name a world-famous actor, and she might never have heard of them. Cocoon won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor in Visual Effects, among many other accolades, along with being the 6th highest-grossing film in the year of its release. So it's not exactly an obscure title. I searched through the Apple library to no avail. I searched through both Netflix and Amazon with similar results, so I decided to do an internet search to find out where I could get Cocoon. Turns out that Cocoon is not available anywhere, not on any streaming service, and not even on DVD or Blu-ray unless you buy one used. But you can at least track it down if you try. But what's weird in all of this is that the much inferior sequel Cocoon: The Return is available to stream. Cocoon isn't alone in this weird situation, however. Want to watch The Abyss? You'll face a similar fruitless search. How about a bit of Arnie in True Lies? Nope. The reasons why such well-known and popular films are nowhere to be seen on streaming services is a bit of a mystery. Some films have temporary rights issues, quite often relating to music licensing. In the case of Cocoon, it seems that it will be a mystery that endures. Despite investigations by some people, including screenwriter John August, an acquaintance of Ron Howard, contacting the director directly, and despite one secretive person saying that it was a music rights issue, the lesson from this is simple. Hold on to physical copies of films, because you never know if it'll be the only way you can watch those movies again. And there's a little more to the article, but you guys get the gist. It is strange, isn't it? You know, I've talked about obscure movies that are not on these digital platforms. And it's very true. I could name a crap ton of them. However, some of the more popular ones, or ones that are more high profile, aren't even on these digital platforms. And I find it very, very interesting that they're not. Again, this person talks about The Abyss, which is not an unknown movie. True Lies, which is more well-known. Cocoon, which is not an unknown flick at all. And these movies are somehow absent from streaming services. And again, it could be as simple as music, that these companies don't want to pay a certain amount of money to these artists to stream the films. It could be as simple as that. However, these streaming services, weirdly enough, have so much influx of money that they can't just simply pay these artists regardless. I thought you were all about getting the content to the streaming platforms for your customers and subscribers. So why not? This is a big conundrum. And this is why physical media is so important, guys. Truly, because, look, at the end of the day, the only stuff right now that is mainly going on these streaming platforms is either the most popular new flicks that are coming out, or the original content that these companies are putting out. That's what's happening right now. Yes, you have Disney Plus that has their library of all their older titles, but they don't even have all that stuff, because they had it for some of their titles for a little bit, a small window, and then they had to get rid of it so that another digital platform can have it. And it's all about contracts and rights issues, and so these movies are bouncing around streaming platforms constantly. So you don't know which one to subscribe to or which one to get for the movie that you want to watch. And so you're just stuck in complete and utter fucking limbo. That's what you are, man. And with physical media, there's something about having it in your hand, having it in the collection, that you know 100% certain that you have that to watch anytime you want to watch it. No one's going to take it away at all unless you decide to. It's your choice. You have the right to choose. With these streaming platforms, that's not always the case. And we can talk about unknown films all we want. We can talk about ones that come out from like Severin or Vinegar Syndrome or Scream Factory or Code Red. Movies that will never get on these streaming platforms. That's for damn sure. However, now it's coming down to these older popular movies from the 80s or the early 90s that aren't even seeing the light of day on digital at all. I mean, this person did say that, look, something like Cocoon is not easy to find on Blu-ray or DVD. However, you can find it if you want to. Digital, you just can. And this is the problem with the digital platform going further, which is that now that it is, how many movies and how many TV series are going to get lost in the shuffle? We talk about VHS to DVD, we talk about DVD to Blu-ray, Blu-ray to 4K, but the digital spectrum, the platform, there are so many movies, and not every movie is going to find a home, unfortunately, and it's going to be lost forever. And that's why physical remains, to this day, incredibly important, guys. It remains as important as I believe it ever has before. Because it's the fact of having the original content in your hand, having the original vision, not having these companies compromise it, but also the fact that you can own it. Some of these movies, unfortunately, will just get lost forever and you won't have a chance to own them. At least with physical media, you'll have a chance for it. With digital, I can't guarantee that, guys. I just simply can't. I wonder what you guys think about this. Definitely let me know, man. In the meantime, I gotta admit, Walmart surprised me. It really surprised me, guys. I mean, truly. I was not prepared for that. Does that mean Target will be good? Let's hope. But the only way to find out is to get inside, so let's check it out. All right, everybody. We are in at Target, and look, some new release goodness. I always expect it. I never get it always. But when I do, surprise, surprise, not bad. The first thing I'm seeing is they have the Blu-ray digital of Fear of Rain for $16.99. The DVD for $14.99. Now, I got a chance to watch this one on Amazon Prime also. The reason being, I'm not gonna lie, I actually really liked the trailer, man. I thought the trailer was really good. And with some of the decent actors in here, like Captain Heigl and Harry Connick Jr., I was willing to give it a chance, man. I was. I mean, so basically, this teen girl is... She basically is diagnosed with schizophrenia, or early onset schizophrenia, I should say. And she's seeing things, and she's kind of just acting not exactly the most normal person you've ever seen in your life. And she's kind of very paranoid, and she believes that her neighbor has actually kidnapped somebody and that is holding them and torturing them in like her attic or something. And so she's all kind of freaking out about it, and she's trying to figure out what's going on, and everyone around her is like, you're schizophrenic. So something's wrong with you. Something's a little off, something's not right. And so I think you're seeing a little bit too much. You need help. You need pills. You need to go into a hospital. Your neighbor is kidnapping. Okay, sure, fine, whatever. And so they think that she's nuts and she's crazy. Is she? Or is there something more going on? I am not going to spoil anything with this movie, guys. But what I will say is that I really enjoyed this movie, man. I truly did. I thought it was pretty damn good for the most part. It's very tension-filled, very suspenseful, great performances, and at times it's a little tough to watch. And the reason why I say that is I mean, the story is fantastic here. But it always kind of is a tough watch because you know that something more is going on. You know that she can't be making all this stuff up in her head. And she just wants somebody to believe her, and everybody is just thinking that she's nuts and crazy and seeing things and she's not right and she needs help, and no matter who she's trying to tell, like, nobody believes her, and it's sometimes frustrating. But that's where sort of the tension and the suspense sort of comes from, is the fact that she knows she's not crazy, but everybody around her thinks she is, and it's just her trying to convince people and trying to find out the truth. And it's that great sort of story, and it's the great sort of build-up that you're really looking for, and it works. It works really well, guys. I'm not gonna lie, man. I mean, I love the whole idea of this woman is secretly hiding something, and we have to uncover the secret. But in order to do it, like, they think I'm going nuts and crazy, and I may lose my mind or go to the mental asylum because of it, but this child will be saved. Like, I love that idea behind it. And I think that the teen actress who was the main lead in here did an amazing job. I honestly think Katherine Heigl did a decent job as well. And I'm not always the biggest fan of Katherine Heigl. I'm not gonna lie. Like, sometimes she seriously gets on my nerves. But she was good here, and so was Harry Connick Jr. I thought all the acting was well done. I like the setting. I like the idea of paranoia setting in, and the idea that you just don't know what's around the corner or what's going to happen next to you. I like that idea of it, man. I thought it worked extremely well, to be honest with you. I truly did. So for me, I mean, it's not the most original movie in the world. We've seen this type of stuff before. I mean, this type of movie goes back even like old school stuff to like Hitchcock. Well, it's not like this is anything new exactly. It's not breaking any boundaries. But I got to admit that it's really, really well done and really well worth your time, honestly. A good psychological thriller that is honestly extremely well worth it. And sometimes, I'm not going to lie, uh, you feel a little paranoid in the process. Hell, I know that I did. Oh, crikey! We're seeing the very excellent Mr. Dundee, the Blu-ray digital for $16.99, the DVD for $14.99. Oh my goodness, a little Paul Hogan goodness. I didn't think I'd ever say that in one of these out and abouts, Jesus. Yes, the very excellent Mr. Dundee. So I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime, and I just kind of wanted to. I did it just based on the title alone, man. Because I'm like, okay, Dundee. I remember the Dundee films back in the day. I mean, I grew up in the late '80s, early '90s, so I was bound to come across the Dundee movies, and Paul Hogan is that guy. But I hadn't seen him doing something in a long time, so I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I'm gonna give this a look. Basically, this movie is about Paul Hogan, starring as Paul Hogan. And basically, he's a washed up movie star that's trying to gain more traction again, and he just ends up getting into these social media ridiculous hijinks and adventures, and kind of becomes famous again because of it. It's a very over the top, ridiculous, but yet charming movie about sort of Hollywood and older people and how they throw older people away and how to continue to stay relevant. You got to do these ridiculous things. It's quite interesting. In a lot of ways, I would say this is almost like a mockumentary. I mean, Paul Hogan is making fun of himself. He's making fun of, the Dundee persona. And it's all these actors sort of having fun with these over-the-top caricatures of themselves, whether it's Chevy Chase or John Cleese, Olivia Newton-John, you name it. It's it's a little bit out there and ridiculous, but it's fun. And Paul Hogan comes across as really likable, really charming, a genuinely nice guy that's stuck in some weird situations that are sometimes way out of his control, man. I kind of like this one. I really did. I didn't know what to expect with this movie. And there's not many movies like it, really. I mean, there's some that are mockumentaries. I mean, there's For Your Consideration, which is kind of similar. Bowfinger, I guess I would say, is similar to it. But there's another one called That's Adequate from 1989 with Tony Randall, and it's another mockumentary about this fictional movie studio, and they parody all kinds of stuff in the movie. It even has a young Robert Downey Jr. in it. That's Adequate from 1989. Look that stuff up, guys, because it's really interesting. It's a movie that not many people really even talk about, but it is a fascinating film, man. I just like the fact that he's able to have fun with this role. He's able to make fun of himself and not take it too seriously. I do like that about this movie. It's kind of interesting because I had totally forgotten about Paul Hogan. I mean, outside of the Dundee films, well, I mean, don't really think much about him, but I was like, okay, man, this seems weird and oddly unique. I mean, it's not even an hour and a half, guys. It's like maybe like slightly less than an hour and a half. It breezes by. It's a fun film. I like that Paul Hogan is kind of going for a very ridiculous version of himself and just not really giving a damn. I kind of like it. And I just like the fact that you bring in Chevy Chase who does a great cameo here. John Cleese is hilarious. Like, I just love seeing these old school actors kind of just making fun of themselves. Like, it's charming. It's oddly charming and witty, and I enjoyed it. Crazy enough, man. It's not the most fun movie ever, and there's some really over the top, ridiculous parts where you're like, "Oh, come on now, seriously." But with all that being said, Paul Hogan's really great here. And so if you're kind of nostalgic for Paul Hogan and Dundee, I'm not saying that this is another Dundee movie because it's not, but if you're nostalgic for Dundee, this is actually worth looking into for more Paul Hogan goodness. And who would have ever thought I'd ever say that one? And we're also seeing they have Horizon Line for $16.99. Is it really a choice? Fly or die? I don't think so, guys. At least not in my world. So, as I said, it's kind of sort of like airplane horror mixed with a love drama in a lot of ways, man. And there is some really good plane horror. I mean, you have 7500, you have Altitude, Red Eye, Flight Plan. Hell, you even have snakes on a plane, okay? But I mean, okay, Snakes on a Plane really has nothing to do with Horizon Line in a lot of ways, other than as being on a plane. But I guess with a lot of those movies that I just mentioned, guys, there's something extra added to the movie to make it a little bit more spicier, make it a little bit more interesting, worth your time. It's got a good idea. Horizon Line does. Truth be told, it really does, and the acting is good here, and I like the tension and the suspense of what's going to happen with them on the plane. Will they survive? Will they not? What will happen to them? You know, who will survive? I mean, there's a whole lot of really great stuff here that the movie offers you. Unfortunately, there's nothing really extra added to it to really make it a little bit more interesting to get it across the finish line. You know what I'm saying? It needed just a little bit more. And unfortunately, sometimes a movie, it's not that a movie is bad, because I don't want to say a movie is bad just for bad's sake, because it's not. But I think that for me, it's almost like there has to be a little bit more to it. You know, you look at something like Executive Decision, or you look at something like Air Force One. I mean, obviously those are airplane horror movies in a lot of ways, but in some ways they're also very much, you know, they have a little bit more. There's like the hijacking, and there's stuff there that adds a little bit more flavor to the proceedings. Horizon Line is good. It has moments of being interesting, and it has that tension-filled moments to it, but unfortunately it just doesn't really hit you uh, so much that it really makes it interesting and rewatchable, is what I'm gonna say. It's good for a one-time watch, but the rewatchability factor, I don't know if it's really there. It's a good movie. It's a 90-minute time waster, but is it really completely worth it to own and watch over and over again? Some of those other movies, like A Snake's on the Plane or Red Eye, are really good and rewatchable for certain factors. Horizon Line just is very surface level, still good, but not really intriguing to keep you coming back for more, though. And then we're seeing a little Lovecraft Country. The Blu-ray digital for $27.99, the DVD for $24.99. Now, I had a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime through my HBO subscription through the service. And I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to watch this because I had heard a lot of things about this, like a very intriguing stuff from a lot of people who really enjoyed this season. And then I had heard some very mixed, on the fence stuff about it, right? And I was like, okay, I gotta check this out for myself. It sounds interestingly enough. I like the trailer to it. And so why not? I'm just gonna give it a chance, man. And basically it's about this sort of certain amount of African Americans who are living in the Jim Crow South, right? And they have to deal with racism and hatred and obviously surviving day in and day out. But there's something really going on with this town, with magic and with monsters and creatures and interesting connections that are going on. And it's sort of this world of the sci-fi and horrific sort of blending in with the modern day world of the Jim Crow South that they're dealing with. I don't want to give too much away about this show, guys. I really don't, because there is a lot of discovery to deal with when you're talking about Lovecraft Country, man. There's a lot of discovery to dive into. But damn, was it a ride. It was a wild, wild ride. I mean, truly. And there's a lot going for this show, okay? I mean, the acting is very, very well done here, okay? I mean, the characters are pretty much very fleshed out individuals, minus the villains. I'm not gonna lie, like the white, racist, evil villains, they're pretty one note. Okay, they're like, we're white and we're racist and we hate black people and we just want to kill them, and it's just okay, cool. Like there's literally nothing else to them except for that, and the actors try their hardest, but it's pretty one note, man. But the African American characters do get a lot of great storylines and great character development, so they have that, man. And I'm also going to admit that the CGI and the designs are extremely well done. The money is on the screen. You can see it. They spend the money and it shows, man. It really honestly does. I like the sci-fi horror elements. I like mixing in the H.P. Lovecraft world. I think it's very, very mysterious and very terrifying at the same time. And I think they really get that blend right. But I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. This show is a big old mess, man. It is a convoluted and confusing mess at times. Is a lot going on here, and sometimes it makes a lot of sense, and other times you are baffled as to what the hell is going on, man. I mean, you're like, who has what powers? Who's controlling what? Who's controlling who? What monsters are connected to what people? All of the connections and the mysteries, like they're just like almost like throwing spaghetti at the fucking screen, and like they are literally all over the place, man. And it's a lot to keep up with. It's a lot to try to connect with, and it's a lot to make sense of. And sometimes it works, and other times you just really are scratching your head, and you're like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna go with it. But for the most part, it's very smart. It's very stylish. It's it is gripping, and it is just a wild, ridiculous, crazy ride to deal with, man. I mean, mixing it's almost like really mixing a drama movie, almost like Green Book or those old Southern movies with like Cthulhu and that whole mythology. And most of it is really intriguing, and most of it works pretty damn well. But I gotta admit, there are moments here where I was confused, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna go with it. I don't know where it's going. I don't know where it's heading. I don't even know if it's gonna make any sense at the end of the day. But I'm just gonna go with it, and that's what Lovecraft Country is, man. I mean, there's a lot of great ideas here, and see, it's kind of interesting because some of them work, right? Some of them work really, really well, and then some of them, not so much, right? Some characters have really great story arcs and really great character development. Others get shortchanged. There's great subplots that really get a lot of time and effort, and other ones that feel like it needed more attention. This is a very unique and interesting experiment of a TV show. And I can't say it all works, but it is very intriguing and just a really wild, crazy ride. I mean, they splashed a lot on the screen. There was a lot of stuff they wanted to accomplish. And at the end of the day, I don't know if it all worked, but damn, was it just a one hell of a ride to just watch and go through, man. If you like those old school Southern dramas and you like some H.P. Lovecraft mythology, This is an intriguing watch, man. I'm not going to say that at the end of the day you're going to know everything that went on. You're going to follow every certain little detail and character moment and all the magic and the creatures, but it's one hell of an experience, man. And Lovecraft Country is quite unique, man. So it is well worth watching, but man, prepare your brain for some craziness because damn, there is a lot to chew on this show, man. Woo! Man, they definitely throw a lot at you, man. That's wild, dude. That is some wild, ridiculous, crazy, convoluted, confusing, mysterious mess. But, but, but damn, was it well worth it. Not gonna lie, man. And actually, this week was pretty well worth it overall. I mean, some pretty interesting releases, new stuff we hadn't even seen yet. Not half bad, guys. Pretty good. A very happy man. All right, let's head out. They say that variety is the spice of life, and for physical media, I happen to agree with them. Yes, indeed. It wasn't half bad here at Target this week, guys. Truly. Now, did they have all the new releases? No. But they had things that we had not seen yet, which is very nice indeed, man. Which is always a very pleasant surprise. And look, I've told you guys before, I'm not looking for a physical media bonanza with Target. I know we're not going to get that, especially every single week. However, if they have some intriguing new releases that are out, at least if they have some of the new release media, I'm a little bit more forgiving, and this week they definitely came through, at least for me. Not half bad, a little Cthulhu love. Paul Hogan. I never thought I'd see Paul Hogan in one of the out and about, especially for new releases, but thus here we are, guys. And a few more surprises along the way. Not half bad, man. Some really good stuff this time around at Target. Seems like physical media is definitely making a comeback this week for sure. Not half bad. Some great titles so far. Let's head to the next location and see what more physical media goodness we can find. All right, everybody. We are at our third location, the second Walmart. I'm going to go in and check out if there's any interesting and intriguing indie titles we're checking out. If there is, you bet I will head back to Film Fan 108 HQ and show it off to you guys. But before we do that, I gotta talk about a trailer. The last and latest trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League, hitting very soon, next month actually. Oh, I know a lot of people who are very intrigued by this one, guys, and I want to say I really like this trailer. It adds more footage than we've seen before, a lot of new footage, and you know, the theme I'm getting here, mainly from every trailer that I've seen from this Zack Snyder version, is the fact that this is going to be a brand new movie practically. It'll probably have elements of the Whedon cut in there, but this is a whole different film. And I remember seeing a lot of different cuts of movies, longer cuts or, you know, producers' cuts, directors' cuts of movies. And a lot of times what I found was that they're almost the same movie, just extra scenes added in. It's not that they affected the film at all or the outcome of the movie. It was the same film, just a little bit more extended, maybe scenes altered here and there, you know, switched around. But this, I'm finding from this trailer and a lot of other ones, that this is a whole different movie that we're going to get. This is not even going to resemble the Joss Whedon Justice League that we got a couple years ago. It is not even going to resemble it whatsoever, man. And I think that's a really cool thing. This is Zack Snyder's vision now. This is his baby. This is his vision. He wanted to accomplish this. This is what he's doing. And I like this trailer, the idea that, you know, of course, Superman is gone and we have to assemble this team to try to defend Earth at any cost possible. And I like the fact of seeing more of the bad guys here, and it all looks good. Like, it looks good. Like, the money is well spent here. And I think they spent upwards of 70 or 90 million to finish the effects. So they are serious about this movie. You don't put that kind of money into a movie like this without being serious. You just don't do it. Okay, so this is real, man. They're serious about this. HBO Max wants this thing to be a driving force for their platform, and Zack Snyder wants to see this thing through. And I love seeing certain images in the trailer, specifically of Black Suit Superman. I am a comic book lover at heart, a Superman comic book lover, and I remember back in the day seeing Black Suit Superman, and I love that image. And to see that brought to life is going to be really cool to me. Just as a comic book lover, it's just going to be cool. It looks really well done, and it's just interesting because the one thing that most fans are taking away from this is that at the end of the trailer, you see Jared Leto's the Joker in like this small scene that he must have with Bruce Wayne or something. And boy, I never thought that people would get so wet over seeing Jared Leto's Joker again. Like I'm seeing so many things online where everyone's like, "Oh my God, Jared Leto's Joker," and I'm like, did I miss something? Like when did we accept Jared Leto as one of the best Jokers, and we're sort of so happy that he's back? Okay, whatever floats your boat. I mean, all right, weird to me. But sure, whatever, man. I think this is one of those movies that's going to be everything and the kitchen sink, just thrown right at you. And look, you know what I want to say at the end of the day, whether this movie succeeds or fails, this is a big FU to people like John Campea, to people like John Schneider from Collider, who for years said that there is no Zack Snyder cut, that there is no Zack Snyder cut whatsoever. It doesn't exist. It's fake. It's false. That people are pining their hopes on something that just isn't there, and it's not going to happen. So this is a big FU to them. And it just goes to show that, you know, that the power of the fans really is there, and it's much more powerful than you have any idea of. And so the trailers have been really good. Win, lose, draw, however the movie comes out. And it's a 4-hour movie, man, so it is going to be long. Okay, but whether it succeeds or not, the fact that it made it out into the world, the fact that the Zack Snyder cut is going to come out and actually be a thing that exists, is a true testament to the fans and a true FU to the people who never wanted to believe that something like this could be possible. So, you know, FU to the haters and the love to the fans. That's all I gotta say, man. But I guess we'll see next month how this all turns out. But if you are a DC lover, I think it's gonna be worth the wait. I just have a feeling. Guess we'll find out. But let me know what you guys think about that. In the meantime, let's head into the second Walmart and see if we find any goodness worth checking out. Well, I am back in at the second Walmart, guys, and this time around, dare I say, they actually stocked quite a bit of media this week. I mean, much more than the first Walmart, and I am actually really surprised. A lot of the stuff we've already seen, however, there is a few that we haven't seen yet. That Walmart indie goodness, weirdness, bizarreness, doesn't matter what it is, I love it. So, dare I say, we're heading back to FilmFan 108 HQ to show off some very unique and interesting indie media. Seth, let's get to showing that indie goodness. Yes, sir, of course. I'm gonna show it off, I swear. Trust me. You can count on me, buddy. I won't let you down. And I won't let you guys down either. Yes, I am going to show off more physical media goodness. Why wouldn't I? I mean, come on, man. I'm all about that physical media goodness. And, you know, with this week, it's been really unexpected and it's been really great. And there's been so much really great physical media to show off. And I've been so happy to see that because physical media, unfortunately, is not guaranteed anymore. And that really is the honest to God truth. I remember a long time ago when you were guaranteed every single week you were going to see new releases in these stores constantly. The same titles were coming out, everybody was stocking them. You knew you were going to get it no matter where you went. And that over the course of many years has slowly been eroding, truly. And it's no longer a guarantee like it used to be. And so when I see weeks like this so far where there's a lot of really great titles at these stores and a lot of really great variety we're showing off, I take notice of that. Because to me, that means that there is still a hunger and a passion for physical media out there. People are still buying it. I mean, you have no idea. I go to these stores and I see people picking up titles, and I'm just so happy to see it. I mean, truly. And I'm thinking, wow, you still buy physical media. Maybe you're not out there buying it every single week or every single day. Be nice if you were. But still, to see it is really nice, man, because with all of the obstacles against physical media nowadays, to still see it surviving is a real joy for me. It truly is. So, of course, I'm going to show off the physical media, man. I love it. It's been a part of my life for years, decades even. So, it's just part of who I am and part of my life. And seeing it still survive makes me very, very happy. And it's weeks like this that I know physical media will survive and strive. Absolutely, man. Abso-friggin-lutely, man. And speaking of physical media, how could we not show off Walmart indie weirdness? Perhaps the weirdest is yet to come. We're back with more Walmart indie goodness. You know how we do it, guys. I love it every single week when we get to see it, and this week is definitely no exception. Let's get down to it, baby. And the first thing I'm seeing is they got DC's Harley Quinn, the complete second season. And remember, it's for mature audiences only. Yes, indeed it is, man. I have actually heard really good things about this Harley Quinn show. I honestly really have. I've seen some stuff on YouTube, and people really dig it, man. They really do. I've heard really, really interesting things about this show, man. People really find it very, very funny. They really like the Harley Quinn character, and they really like the fact that it's really not a kids show. It's very much adult content oriented. So it's kind of nice to have animated stuff in some ways actually more for adults. You don't really see much of that. I mean, honestly, I believe this is Comedy Central, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think Comedy Central does this or puts this on, if I'm not mistaken. Not really entirely sure on that one, but I do know that Comedy Central does adult animated content, and which is honestly really cool, man. I actually used to watch back in the day. There was, and I forget even the name of it now. There was like this old school animated show that came on late at night with this duck that was a detective, and he had like this really weird fucking family or some shit. It was like the most bizarre shit I'd ever seen, man. But I kind of really enjoyed it, and then I kind of stopped watching after a long while. But I don't really watch much like animated stuff. I mean, I'll watch some Disney animated stuff, but not really adult territory. But DC's Harley Quinn kind of looks cool, actually. I like the animation, and of course, Harley Quinn is a very popular character. It's kind of wild, though, how popular Harley Quinn has really become. I mean, I'm not saying she's overtaken Joker or any of the other Batman roster of villains, but she's grown on people. Interestingly enough, because after a while, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought she was annoying at first, and I'm kind of liking her style, and I think she's kind of cool at the end of the day. And she became very popular through the comics, but it's more of like now the movies, Suicide Squad, and the Harley Quinn film, and Margot Robbie playing her, that she's kind of gained more prominence. Little girls are dressing up as her for Halloween and shit. So it's like she's become a whole popular entity in and of herself. I don't fully know the fascination to her, but maybe I don't need to. People like what they like. She's a quirky, vibrant, weird chick. And I guess who doesn't like that at the end of the day, right? Yeah, I know. It looks fun, man. It looks kind of cool. It looks interesting to me. So, you know what? I may look into DC Harley Quinn. I might just do it. Like I said, I've seen a lot of really good things online. People really vibing with this show in a big bad way. So, you know what? I might actually look into this one. I'm not much into adult animated shows, at least not in a very, very long time, but maybe a little DC Harley Quinn love might be able to do it. It's possible. You never know. Definitely let me know what you guys think of DC Harley Quinn. Good, bad, ugly, or, you know, should I skip Mr. J and hang out with little Harley Love? And then we have Tomato Red. Blood money. Okay, what is this? Look at that cover, man. Almost like straight out of the 90s or something, isn't it? Damn. Kind of looks like that. No risk, no reward. Ha ha, okay. I'm kind of sensing where this is going, but I gotta check the synopsis out, guys. What is this? When small town drifter Sammy drives into town on the search for his next cold beer and opportunity, what he bargained for, food, lodging, and the surprising possibilities of a better future fall into his lap thanks to a redhead Jamie and her brother Jason. Breaks don't come easy, and Venus Holla, finding themselves powerless against the forces of corruption and prejudice, and is to fight. Huh. Dude, look at that like image right there. Isn't that like straight out of like a 90s teen angst movie or some shit? I mean, I'm serious, man. Like you could literally like put that in front of like a Dawson's Creek image or something, and like it looks like something like that, or like or like some sort of like My Teen Life or some shit. Like, god damn, man. I like that's like 90s vibes so much, man. Damn. Whoa. Now I was kind of looking this movie up a little bit because I was kind of curious about this one. Now, the release here is coming out in 2021, but the movie was actually came out made in 2017, which is so wild to me. Like it's been literally like 4 years for the fact that this thing has to come to store shelves. It's nuts, man. And I've seen so many movies like that where they were filmed many, many years ago and just now getting a DVD release. It's just the weird thing of finding financiers and finding distributors. It's just nuts, man. Some movies literally languish in distribution hell before they ever get any kind of release, man. And this seems like one of them, actually. And it's kind of interesting because I've seen some reviews on IMDb, and they basically say that it's a decent movie, but there's like no chemistry with the actors. It goes on for way too long. And I looked up the movie's like 112 minutes, so it's almost 2 hours long, man. So it's like that's a long time for something like a teen angst, fighting the system type of movie, man. I mean, I like those movies as much as anybody, but I'm more of like, I guess like fighting the system. I'm more of like an 80s person when it comes to fighting the system, right? Like The Breakfast Club or Billie Jean. I mean, something like that, man, where I really loved like that, like the Legend of Billie Jean, like that was really cool. I like that fighting the system type of movies like that from like the 80s or the early 90s. A lot of the teen angst stuff nowadays I can't really get into, but I'm sort of old enough now where I'm like I don't really get the kids today. I don't really understand them. Teen angst, what do they got to complain about? Just start paying bills. like like I'm that like old curmudgeon guy now, man. I so am, dude. It looks kind of interesting. Like this stranger comes into town, and this redhead, foxy chick sort of falls in love with him, and they may have to be on the run and rob places, and it's kind of like almost maybe like Bonnie and Clyde meets Teen Angst type of deal. Maybe looks kind of interesting. I don't get the tomato red part there. Why can't they just call it Blood Money? Kind of make a little bit better sense than just calling it tomato red. I mean, I get it. She's a redhead, blood. I get it, but I'm like, like tomato red, really? Just call it blood money. What's the problem? Who the hell knows, man? God, some interesting Stranger Teen Angst 2021 goodness. Hmm. Interesting, I will say that much. Oh, and speaking of being stuck in quarantine, finding love in quarantine. Yes, all right. Ah, COVID quarantine goodness, of course. Oh, with Tom Arnold, Stacey Dash, and Lee Majors. Wow, man, what's the last thing I saw Lee Majors in? Shit. Oh, I do remember he was in Ash vs. Evil Dead, which I actually thought he did a good job in Ash vs. Evil Dead. He's actually pretty good in that, man. I liked him in that, and then God, before that, I know he's done a lot of stuff, but the last thing I saw him in before that was a kids movie from '97 called Trojan War. Oh man, that's a blast from the past. Holy crap, dude. Yeah, that's the last thing I saw him in. Finding Love in Quarantine now. Jeez. Oh boy, man. Lee Majors doing a little COVID quarantine movie. All right. Hey, man, everybody needs a little work, right? Okay. Let's see what this thing's about. When a shocking medical crisis rages, COVID, Rick Baldwin finds himself in quarantine, catapulting him and his entire Gacy into chaos, isolation, and a homeschool man. Rick faces his own internal battles, tries to reconnect with Gracie, help her journey through newfound challenges, and press the loss of his wife, his job, quest for healing. Okay. That's interesting. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, man. We are starting to see more COVID quarantine movies, aren't we, man? I mean, we saw Host, and Host was definitely a horror movie wrapped in the COVID quarantine. This is now a love story wrapped within the COVID quarantine crisis. There's going to be a lot of these movies, guys. I'm serious, man. Like within the next 2, 3 years or even more, you're gonna see a lot of these movies come down the pike. I guarantee you that will happen, man. It's just inevitability. It will happen, dude. So buckle your seatbelts because we're gonna be in for a COVID ride, and I'm not talking about the pandemic itself. I'm talking about movies that will definitely be featuring COVID in one way or another, and the quarantine and the crisis of it. We're gonna get a lot of this stuff, man. It is coming. I guarantee you, dude. I mean, I gotta say, I like the synopsis. It's interesting to me. It kind of reminds me of a a movie with Ewan McGregor back in the day, like 2011 or so, called I think it was Perfect Sense, where it was during this sort of pandemic crisis and they're losing like their sense of taste and smell and people are dying and like Ewan McGregor is finding love in that movie. It's kind of a very unique and interesting film. It kind of reminds me of this, but I think Perfect Sense is probably going to be the better movie because let's face it, Ewan McGregor is awesome. But it, yeah, this looks decent, but like I said, it's COVID. We're gonna be getting a lot of. I mean, hell, they even have the masks in the friggin' image, dude. Come on, we're gonna get a lot of this stuff coming up. I guarantee you, it is coming. Fast and Furious, we're gonna get a lot of this stuff, man. And hey, I'm prepared for it. I honestly am because let's face it, man. I mean, any way for Hollywood to take advantage of it and make it timely and relevant to the times, they're gonna do it. So clearly, this is gonna take advantage of the COVID crisis. Many films are gonna do it. They're already doing it already. It's gonna continue to happen, dude. It's nice to find a movie that promotes love within obviously the quarantine and the COVID crisis. And trust me, more is down the pike. I guarantee you, give it another year or two, you'll be seeing Hallmark movies that are like this. I guarantee you. In fact, I'm gonna bet you guys money that we are gonna see it. And if I'm right, I'm telling you, you guys better pay up. Oh, we're not done yet, guys. Not by a damn long shot. We got more Walmart goodness, baby. And the next title I'm seeing is they got Stranded on Mars. Life will never be the same. I gotta admit, man, I like that cover. I do. It looks very vibrant. I like the astronaut there. I like the planet in the front. It definitely stands out, man. I'm liking this cover. I definitely am. Not gonna lie, man. Will he ever make it home? Based in the near future, a space expedition consisting of three astronauts is sent to Mars, but there's a terrible accident during landing, and two of the crew members die on impact, leaving the captain as the only survivor. His only chance of survival in the inhospitable planet if Earth launches a rescue mission. While he waits, he starts counting down the days, and the radio communication with Earth, as well as a robotic drone to keep him company. His own personal Wilson. Wonderful. But he starts having mind-boggling hallucinations and meets an entity that reveals itself to be sentient, Mars life form. Soon he no longer knows what's real and what isn't anymore. Can he protect him, or will they forsake him? That's interesting. God, there's been so many Mars movies, hasn't there? I mean, there's Mission to Mars with Gary Sinise, which is pretty good. There's Red Planet with Val Kilmer. And most people forgot about that movie, man, but it's actually a pretty decent one. Of course, the most recent one people really know about is The Martian with Matt Damon. And this kind of resembles The Martian in a lot of ways, right? Because he's stranded on Mars, Earth has to do a rescue mission. I hope he's like, doing what Matt Damon did, like take his shit and make potatoes out of it. Like I hope he's doing that, man. Because if not, he's starving big time, bro. Oh man, dude. It looks interesting, and I like the fact that there's like this life form, sentient life form on Mars, but he doesn't know whether like it's real or it's all in his head. Like I like that. Like is he going crazy or is this like actually really happening? I really like that, man. It has a lot of flavor of The Martian, but it also honestly has a little bit of flavor of both Red Planet and Mission to Mars as well. It kind of does. I love these sort of space exploration going to Mars movies because it's always fascinating, right? Like we're going to an unknown planet and what are we gonna find? And I just love it. Like one day we're all gonna go to Mars and we're gonna be like, dude, this is like the same old shit we've been seeing constantly. Like this is just like Earth. Like there's nothing new or interesting here. Like what the fuck? Like they hyped it up so much. And it's like basically like Club Med or some shit. Like that's what I think it's gonna be. I doubt it though, man. But it's always kind of to think like that, man. But I always love these Mars movies and space exploration stuff. It's always kind of cool to sort of imagine what another planet's gonna be like and being on that planet and what you'll find. Like it's kind of cool. It's the imagination of it, which I really appreciate, and all that stuff. Those all kind of cool, man. It looks interesting to me. I like the imagery, the space stuff. It has some cool space exploration, Mars vibes from previous films. So, will it be as good as some of those other ones? Might not be, but it won't be as worse as some of the really bad ones. And trust me, there's some Mars movies that are real stinkers. I don't know. This one kind of looks interesting to me. Stranded on Mars. I wonder if he'll survive. Well, he just needs to take some pointers from Matt Damon. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh no. Oh, what is this? The Leprechauns game. Oh, they took me Lucky Charms. Oh, man, and you are one ugly motherfucker. God damn. Somebody give him his fucking gold or his Lucky Charms, man. She just let him go back into his fucking rainbow. Fuck, man. Damn. Wanna play? No, no, I don't. Not with you. That's for damn sure. Oh, Lord. Oh, look at that. Oh, that does not look good to me whatsoever. Damn, dude. Ooh. It's a face only a mother could love. And the mother's gotta be one demented bitch. Let me tell you. Oh, Lord. Woo! Struggling to cope with his partner's unexpected pregnancy, Carl must go to any lengths to provide for his new family. After being called in for a job with an old sketchy business partner, Marshall, he is hesitant to get dragged into something he might later regret. They are hired by a collector who asks them to steal the leprechaun's gold. Thinking that they would earn some easy cash, Carl and Marshall recruit some local workers to help search for the gold, which they soon discover is at the end of a rainbow. Ah, of course it is. However, as they divide up the gold in exchange for cash, they realize that the road to riches is not always smooth and can be deadly. Oh, hold on a second. Okay, hold on a second. This guy's got to provide for his new family, right? All right. Seriously, you can't just get a job at McDonald's? Like you have to go for Leprechaun's Gold? Like, were they not hiring at Costco? Did Burger King decide that they had enough people to make the fries? I mean, what? Seriously, you can't find another job. I mean, clearly, I'm sure Taco Bell still needs people to make the tacos. I mean, come on, man. Like seriously, that's what you pick is going after Leprechaun's Gold. Okay, there's better ways to make money and less deadly ways to die. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there, man. There's better opportunities out there, you know. No, just saying. There is food stamps. Why? Why would you go after Leprechaun's Gold, man? Damn, dude. I don't know, man. This looks like such a cheap fucking movie, dude. It looks so bad. Oh man, and I love the Leprechaun series, man, with Warwick Davis. That's some goofy shit, but I gotta admit, man, it's fun, dude. I mean, yeah, there's some bad ones in there, like Leprechaun in Space ain't actually the gold standard, put it that way, man. And okay, Leprechaun in the Hood is kind of fun at times, but like it is goofy, but there's something charming about Warwick Davis playing the role, and I like the makeup and everything, and I like the goofy ways that he kills people. This is like such a rip off, man, of Leprechaun in such a big bad way, dude. God, look at that motherfucker. Oh, so cheap. Shit. It's so bad, dude. Oh my god, man. I mean, I gotta admit, there hasn't really been a good Leprechaun killer movie for a while. They had that Leprechaun remake, which was so god awful. It was so bad, man. However, I will admit the sort of pseudo Leprechaun sequel that they did without Warwick Davis was not terrible. It wasn't great. I didn't quite love it, but it wasn't outright terrible. But I mean, it doesn't beat the Warwick movies though. But damn, this one. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, damn, dude. That is one nasty little looking leprechaun, man. Oh Lord. Man, don't steal a single ounce of his gold, man. Don't do it, man, because I never want to see that face again. I don't, dude. I will take a job anywhere, man. I will fucking dance for money on the street than ever take this motherfucker's gold, man. Shit, dude. Oh man, these people pissed off the wrong leprechaun and they're all gonna die, man. And now, you're now regretting not putting your application into McDonald's. Come on. Let's be fair. You're definitely regretting it now. And last, but certainly not least, the very excellent Mr. Dundee. He's back, whether he likes it or not. Yes. Now, I had to show this off one more time, guys. And the reason being is because I don't know when I'm ever going to get a chance to talk about Hogan again, man. I mean, I'm serious. I have no idea if I will ever be able to. So I just got to unload, man. And it's very interesting about Paul Hogan and his career in general, right? Because he's known for Dundee. That's what he is. But that's not how he started out, man. He actually started out as a comedian. He had done these sort of comic sketches. He was definitely known as a funny man in Australia. And he does this Crocodile Dundee movie, 86, 85, somewhere around there. And it just took the world by storm. It was a worldwide phenomenon. It was a big deal here in the States. And he was known for that character. He became famous because of it. And he never really was able to escape it. I mean, he did Crocodile Dundee 2, which actually is not a bad sequel. And then he kind of did, some various movies here and there, but nothing that really hit as big as Dundee. I actually kind of like a movie he did in 1990 called Almost an Angel. It's actually not a bad movie. It's actually a pretty good flick. He did another sort of kind of almost similar Dundee movie, kind of not exactly a Dundee film in 94, which didn't really hit with audiences. Of course, another movie that actually I think he's kind of known for is also Flipper from 96, which not many people really talk about him in that movie, but he was, man. He was in that movie. But that was actually a pretty good flick, honestly. I mean, for a kids film, I mean, it wasn't bad. And then he came back to the Dundee role in 2001 for Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles. Do you guys remember that movie? If you guys don't, I recommend don't watch it, man, because it is not a good movie, man. It's like him in LA. They introduce sort of his son, sort of another generation of the Dundies, and he's got to like figure out some mystery foul play that happens at this movie studio. Like it's a really terrible movie, man. It is basically the third Dundee film. It kind of is almost like reminds me of like the third Beverly Hills Cop film, right? Like it's like the worst of like the third films in like a franchise, man. It just like it tries to go a little bit more kid friendly and a little bit more softer touch of the character and the situation, and it just so doesn't work, man. It's just a real dud. And that one really failed. And then he sort of went out of existence. He did some things here and there, but he's always kind of been trading off the Dundee name for a really long time. And doing this film, I kind of like the fact that he's coming out and sort of making fun of himself and sort of kind of like taking aim at the Dundee character and just sort of having fun with sort of the stereotypical like Australian that people think he is, man. And I kind of like that. I really do, man. It's kind of interesting because, you know, I gotta admit, man, Paul Hogan to me, I don't know if I really like am nostalgic for Paul Hogan exactly. Like I appreciate the man, I appreciate the Crocodile Dundee character. He's always going to be known for it. I mean, literally when he passes away on his gravestone is going to be he was Crocodile Dundee, man. That's what he will always be known for. But it's kind of interesting because he's always been trying to be an actor that could go past Dundee, but he was never able to do it. Like I said, for me, the best role that he did outside of Dundee was Almost an Angel, but I think if I had to say the next one he's known for would probably be Flipper, but most people really think of Elijah Wood in that role, in that movie. They don't really think of Paul Hogan from Crocodile Dundee in that flick. Like no one ever talks about that. They talk about Elijah Wood more than they ever talk about Paul Hogan, man. But he's always somebody who like had his 15 minutes of fame, and his 15 minutes of fame never really lasted that long. And he tried to maybe diversify himself, but he just couldn't get away from the role. And unfortunately, that's what happens to some of these actors. You know, if you're lucky, you could be like an Eddie Murphy or, a Chevy Chase, and or you could be like some of these guys, even like a Robert Englund who had took the horror genre and has sort of ran with it and has done a lot of cool things within the horror genre and has made a name for himself there. For Paul Hogan, was he going to be the action guy? Was he going to be the comedy guy? He was kind of stuck between two worlds, and unfortunately, he didn't really fit in either of them exactly. And so he kind of tried to make a niche for himself, but it just didn't unfortunately work. But I gotta admit, man, this movie it is a real charming film, and it's a real surprise for me. And I kind of like the fact that this actor is going out of his way to take the piss out of a character and sort of out of himself and just make fun of the situation. I appreciate that, man. I mean, it's interesting because when there was that commercial that came out for like this tourism ad in Australia, I remember it was like promoted. It was promoted as this actual like big, almost like it could be like a new Dundee movie, and everybody went ape shit for it. And I was like, oh my God, people will go ape shit for like Dundee. Like this is actually a thing. Like people are really like jonesing for another Dundee film, and it was so popular. And then when it came out that it was a tourism ad, like everybody was kind of like, "Oh, that sucks. I want another Dundee movie." And I'm like, "Really?" Like I thought it was kind of a clever thing, man, but it actually like piqued more interest into Paul Hogan again, and he was able to make this movie. So, all in all, it paid off for the man. But go back and look at Crocodile Dundee. Go back and look at those older films with Paul Hogan, man. I mean, he's a charming guy. He's a fun, charming guy. He made some good, fun roles. He had his 15 minutes of fame. It didn't last long, but I got to admit, man, he made some good films at the end of the day, and I really appreciate a movie like this where he can just kind of go out of his way to just enjoy himself now. At an old age, he doesn't need to worry about fame and fortune and trying to impress people. He just wants to, sort of laugh at himself, and I kind of appreciate that, man. I really do. This is definitely a good film, man. If you're into Paul Hogan, and why wouldn't you be? It's definitely worth checking out, man. Honestly, it is, dude. And honestly, the Walmart goodness, boy, Walmart weirdness, I should say, is very, very interesting this week. The good, the bad, the ugly, the oh, terrible looking leprechaun love. Whatever, man. You gotta love Walmart. They definitely put some doozies out, man. And this time around, boy, definitely did not disappoint. Left for Dead on Mars. Bargain Basement Leprechauns. Quarantine Love. Blood Money. And animated Harley Quinn. Boy, I'll tell ya, when Walmart definitely wants to come through, they do weird like nobody's business. Indeed, they do, guys. Oh Lord, do they definitely do, man. Boy, oh boy, what an odd array of titles. Let me tell you something. And I always look forward every single week, whether we find some indie weirdness at Walmart, because boy, oh boy, man, I gotta admit, some of the stuff we find, oh, I just love seeing it, man. I honestly do, dude. I really do. God, I hope that does never end with Walmart. All the weird stuff that we get to find from time to time, man. I just love the fact that these movies exist out in the world. I mean, I truly do. Good, bad, ugly, flat out weird and bizarre. The fact that they exist, the fact that there's a physical disc out there that you can hold in your hand and look at and see the artwork and want to buy it is just awesome. I have a lot of weird titles in the collection, man, and I'm cool with weirdness, man. I really am, because what's great about somebody's collection is that you can take any one of those movies and put it in your collection, and it's okay because it suits you. It's who you are, and it's how you want your collection to be. And I really appreciate that, man. I mean, I'm not a fan of some of those titles. I think they're flat out, some of them are frankly crap. But I appreciate the fact that somebody out there appreciates that movie so much that they're gonna buy it and have it in their collection and watch it over and over again. That's the beauty of physical media, guys. That's the beauty of it. Is the fact that you have a choice. You can buy these titles, you can have it in your collection, you can make it part of who you are and have your collection reflect you and reflect your loves. It's just great. The options out there for physical media lovers, whether you're looking for the big Hollywood blockbusters or the weird indie gems, it doesn't matter. You get the opportunity to own these movies, and that's what counts, and that is what's amazing, man. I gotta admit, dude, I mean, some of these titles, I don't know, but somebody out there loves them. And God bless that person who is gonna love one of these titles so much that they want to have it in their collection. Because having in your collection means that you truly, truly love something. And you want it as an extension of you, an extension of who you are and what you love. And who can fault you? There is no right or wrong answer with physical media. Something that I might not like, you love, and vice versa. But I appreciate the fact that you go out of your way and have a passion for it enough that you want to own it. That to me is pure passion. Doesn't matter whether we agree or disagree on the movie. It's the fact that we both agree on the passion in which you want to have it in your collection and you want to make it as part of your personal overall enjoyment. It's just awesome. And for me, I just love physical media, and I love the chance to show this stuff off to you guys and to give you an opportunity to have something that you can enjoy and you can own and make it a part of you. That's what I love about physical media, man. Good, bad, ugly, crazy, weird, bizarre, ridiculous, over the top, cheesy as hell. Make your collection your own. No matter what you love, it's all about you. And some of these titles, weird as they may be, if you find enjoyment in it, hey, that's what truly matters. Honestly, man. It's what truly, truly matters. Well, seems like we're all done with the Walmart indie weirdness, at least for this week. However, the fourth location is coming up, and I have a feeling we'll see some much more unique and interesting physical media yet to come. I do believe so. So definitely, let's head to the fourth location and see what more physical media mischief we can get ourselves into. All right, everybody, we are at our fourth and final location, and on a plentiful physical media week. Don't you find that it's always best to end on a high note? Well, hopefully. And with the Beast, it's usually more likely than not. Yes, we are at our last location, and that is none other than the Beast, Best Buy, baby. And it's been a good physical media week. A lot of very intriguing titles and a lot of media to check out. And can we save the best for last? Best Buy has its rough moments, but usually they end up coming through for us in the end. So let's hope that this time around, luck is on our side. Hopefully the physical media gods is shining down on us, and hopefully they're shining down on the Beast. But let's head in and see what they got. All right, we are in at Best Buy, and it looks a little empty in this area. However, doesn't mean we can't find something, and we definitely did. The Blu-ray digital of Lovecraft Country for $32.99. Now, the regular edition is $27.99, but this one, however, is an only at Best Buy limited edition steelbook. Nice. I didn't know whether we were actually going to find any exclusives this week, but Best Buy came through. Look at that. It's a pretty nice cover. Nice. I don't think I've ever actually seen many steelbook editions for like TV shows, especially for like HBO. I think that's pretty rare, isn't it? At least it's been rare for me. This is very unique, actually. Surprised Best Buy actually did one for this, but it's kind of cool though. Not gonna lie. Huh. Very interesting, man. Nice. You don't see this all the time, that's for damn sure. Pretty damn cool. So, as I said, this show definitely deals with a lot of H.P. Lovecraft, Cthulhu. It deals with a lot of that stuff, man. And I've been a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft for quite a while, man. I mean, the stuff that he wrote about is the stuff of nightmares, man. Truly, some really just freaky imagery, nightmare fuel stuff. And the movies have been, some of them have ranged from truly terrifying to more horror comedy angle. I mean, movies like Reanimator and From Beyond, Dunwich Horror have all been really intriguing. Of course, Dagon, of course, is another one of those. And there's even ones that were definitely thoroughly influenced by H.P. Lovecraft. Like, you know, movies like The Void, for instance, definitely was. And there's a lot of other ones out there as well. Of course, the most recent one being Color Out of Space, which was amazing, absolutely phenomenal. And there's a very interesting one. It's a horror comedy. It's one of like a indie horror comedy that I saw years ago, but was really, really fantastic. And that was Call Girl of Cthulhu. and I'm actually saying right, Call Girl of Cthulhu. It is a wild, fun horror comedy that kind of takes the H.P. Lovecraft Cthulhu realm and sort of spins it into this comedic tale with some horror elements to it. It's actually really fun, and I really enjoyed it, man. And I'm always sort of very intrigued where they take the H.P. Lovecraft world and where they take Cthulhu. Like, for instance, I thought it was really brilliant in a movie like Underwater, when, you know, which could have been an interesting sort of creatures underneath the water terrorizing this facility, and put it into this great sort of Cthulhu realm that I was not expecting. It was actually really intriguing and really interesting, man. I thought it was quite unique. So for me, I'm always fascinated to see where they go with Cthulhu and where they go with the world. And I thought Lovecraft Country did a really good job in expressing that in a very unique and fascinating way. Did it always 100% work? No, but I gotta admit though, man, that for me, as an H.P. Lovecraft lover and someone that loves seeing the Cthulhu mythology, I think it very much impressed me. And I love the designs. The designs of the creatures and everything is great. You know, it's movies like In the Mouth of Madness or Lovecraft Country like this that really sort of showcases you can do some really cool creature designs within the realm of the Cthulhu world. And Lovecraft Country shows that. I'm actually really intrigued to see where they go with a second season. I know that, I don't know if they've actually officially gotten a season 2 or not. And I don't know if they would, because season 1 wrapped up pretty well, to be honest with you. It wrapped up pretty consistently. There's not much carryover. There's a little bit, but not a lot. I know they want to do a second season. I'd love to see it. I mean, season 1 was wild, so I don't know where season 2 could go, but, you know, there's a lot of great mythology to mine from the H.P. Lovecraft world, and so there's still so much they could do with the series. I would love to see them make a season 2. If it's anything like season 1, it's going to be one crazy and ridiculous ride, but so well worth it, man. So well worth it indeed. I would actually look forward to it. I'm wondering what you guys think about H.P. Lovecraft and the world, and some movies or shows that really highlight H.P. Lovecraft and the Cthulhu mythology. Definitely let me know about that, guys. But I think Lovecraft Country did a pretty decent job at it. I truly do, man. You get a lot of really great stuff here, man. A lot of great featurettes, making of, exploring the world. A lot of really great stuff, man. It's a great show. It's very convoluted. It's all over the place. Sometimes it's confusing as hell, But damn, is it a worthy ride to dive into. And you know what? And I think they handled H.P. Lovecraft pretty damn well, dare I say. And some Steelbook love. Who would have thought we would have seen Steelbook love for Lovecraft Country? Hell, I certainly didn't. Nice. And, oh, it's actually a reverse Steelbook and includes 2 exclusive covers. Holy shit, I didn't even realize that. Holy shit. Dude, that's awesome. Wow. Dude, that's pretty damn cool. I'm not gonna lie, man. You rarely see many TV shows get Steelbook love. That is pretty awesome, man. So if you're a fan of this, Steelbook might be worth it, guys. Not gonna lie, this might sell out fast. So if you're a fan, definitely hurry up. Not bad. Not much else to show off over here, but hey, that's a pretty good start so far. Let's see what else Best Buy's got. And on this end of Best Buy, it looks very bare, okay? Very, very bare. However, not as bare as you might think. Yeah, still some stuff we're checking out, man. A few releases worth diving into. And the first being Fear of Rain. The Blu-ray digital for $14.99. Yes, some paranoia, mental illness, trying to kill the neighbor next door goodness. Some of the best, right? Jeez, oh God. No, man, I mean, seriously, this movie is great. I mean, it really is great, and it really deals with the paranoia of mental illness and the schizophrenia of it. And it's kind of interesting because looking at movies about schizophrenia, you know, you have a lot of different ones out there. You have movies like A Beautiful Mind or Silver Linings Playbook, Black Swan. There's even stuff like Ordinary People that it kind of touches on that aspect as well. So there's a lot of different ones about mental illness that is out there in the world, but nothing quite like this. It sort of takes that idea of mental illness and paranoia and mixes it with an Alfred Hitchcock, you know, Rear Window, almost even like Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf. Takes that idea of, you know, looking out your window, or even like Fright Night, looking out your window, seeing something that you know is not right, and mixing that with the psychological paranoia aspect to it, and realizing that maybe you're losing your mind in the process. It may be real, it may not be real, and no one's really believing you. I like those two things mixed together. It worked in this movie. It really did. And I thought it was very intriguing. I thought it was really, really well done and well acted as well. So this movie works. Truly does, man. And by the way, it also has Harry Connick Jr. in it. I mean, come on. Harry Connick Jr. is awesome. Hope Floats? Anybody? Sandra Bullock? Or, come on, Copycat with Sigourney Weaver. Ah, yes. Harry Connick Jr., man, he's done some good stuff. I know. So this is one definitely worth checking out. If you like stuff like, as I said, Disturbia or Rear Window, stuff like that has that Hitchcock feel to it, but also brings in the mental illness aspect to it and gives it that extra little flavor, this is one that's definitely well worth checking out, guys. Truly, man. You get Collective Fear, a conversation featurette, and deleted scenes. That's all. But I got to admit, man, this was well worth renting and watching. The acting and the story and everything was really intriguing. And as a lover of Hitchcock, I honestly don't think this really disappointed. And then I'm seeing they have the Blu-ray of The Informer for $15.99. Choose your enemies wisely. Oh, that is good advice, because if you don't choose them wisely, they will come back to bite you in the ass. Kind of like this movie. Now, let's talk about Joel Kinnaman, because he did a great job in this movie. I mean, truly, he was awesome in this role. Now, I can't say I'm the biggest fan of Joel Kinnaman, but I don't hate the guy. I mean, he really came to prominence in that TV show The Killing, which I've only seen a few episodes of. I've never actually seen the whole thing. I've heard it's good though, but I've never actually went out of my way to see the whole damn actually TV series itself, but he actually got really great marks in it, and he's been good in some projects. I mean, he was really great in Run All Night. I thought he was really good in that, and well, and then he went and did that terrible RoboCop remake. Oh no. That was pretty bad, guys. That was really bad. I mean, it's not really Joel Kinnaman's fault. I mean, to be fair, he did an okay job for what he was given, but the movie itself and everything about it was pretty fucking terrible, man. And I mean, trying to bounce back from that, it's not easy. I mean, he's done a few other interesting stuff. I mean, he also did Suicide Squad. Oh, Jesus. Okay, look. Honestly, Suicide Squad's a mess, but his character of Rick Flag is one of the highlights of the movie. It actually really is. He does a good job in Suicide Squad. Even though I don't love the movie, actually he does a good job in it. And he's a good actor overall. It's just I think he's got to pick a little bit better of projects, man. I mean, I know that The Suicide Squad is coming out this year, and he's coming back as Rick Flag, which I'm hoping it's successful. I really am. For his sake, as somebody who's an up-and-coming actor, somebody who has honestly a really good character actor who does a really good job, and he is a phenomenal actor in the right role. He's got to pick the right stuff, man. And I think The Informer is a really good one for him. He's intimidating, he's sympathetic, he does the action really great, the drama. Overall, he's a good actor at what he does, man, and he did pull it off here. And I gotta admit, what I find funny in any of these type of movies, if you want to be badass in a movie, you need to have like tattoos. Is it just me, or any badass in a movie going to jail or prison like has to have tattoos? I mean, they're not bad tattoos. They're pretty well designed, actually. But I just find it funny. Like, if you want to be badass, baby, if you want to be loco, you gotta have the tats, baby. And it's kind of funny, right? This has nothing to do with the movie. I'm just randomly saying this. So I went to a horror convention once, right, guys? And Kane Hodder was there. Okay, awesome. Love Kane Hodder. Want to get his autograph. And John's father, huge horror nut, man, great dude. And he has all tattoos all over the place, man. He's a badass dude. Has a bunch of tattoos, horror stuff. Goes up to Kane Hodder, and Kane Hodder sees him, embraces him, gives him a big hug, yeah, brother horror. It's really good, the horror genre, man. And loved that shit, and just loved him and embraced him. And I'm a horror lover. I go up to Kane Hodder next. Here I am, straight-laced dude with no tattoos and everything, and he looks at me. It gives me the most, like resting bitch face that you've ever seen in your life. And he's like, "You're not a horror fan. You don't have the tat. You're not." And I'm like, what the hell? I'm a horror lover. I swear. Like, it's just like, apparently, in order to be badass, you need the tats, man. And I just do not have the tat love, but apparently Joel Kinnaman has, man. I just find that funny, man. To be the badass motherfucker, always tats, dude. Always tats, man. No special features that I see here, man, but it is an intriguing movie. It's well acted, decent story. You feel for the characters. It's not half bad. Definitely worth diving into for some Joel Kinnaman love, and a little more informative to when you need to be a badass. Just remember, tattoos definitely help. Oh, and we are next seeing The Swordsman, the Blu-ray for $14.99. I love that. He's in the rain, surrounded by warriors, and he's got his trusted bloody sword ready to hack all those traitors. Absolutely, the way of the sword, baby. Yeah, nice. Now, look, I gotta admit, man, the stuff overseas, as far as the swordplay, is so much better, man. I mean, really, seriously, dude. I mean, you go back to the old school stuff of Kira Kurosawa, Seven Samurai, which is absolutely amazing. The stuff that Takashi Miike has done, Blade of the Immortal, 13 Assassins. Even though I didn't really love Hero, I mean, you do have that stuff with Jet Li, of course, that is out there, of course. Stuff with Chow Yun Fat has been amazing as well. Michelle Yeoh. I mean, there's a lot of really fantastic stuff out there, and I feel like the American stuff hasn't really translated too well. We don't really go out of our way to try to outdo the sword epics of overseas. We don't really try. I mean, sometimes we do. There's a couple of those Keanu Reeves movies, like Man of Tai Chi or 47 Ronin, which is really fucking grown worthy, dude. I mean, give Keanu Reeves a little bit of A for effort because he tried, but it didn't come out so hot, man. I mean, I kind of feel like some of those ones overseas, I mean, yes, they gained a lot of traction here in the U.S. Some of those really great ones that really sort of built up the world of, like, when we saw The Matrix. I mean, movies like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, for instance. I mean, that really blew up so much of the popularity of the martial arts and kung fu and swordplay, that you look at movies like The Matrix and a lot of things that came after that, and you can see the influence on American audiences, on American films. You can see it. I just don't know whether America really is as good at that as other people. I mean, we've seen some translation to America, like Donnie Yen has definitely come and done certain things in America, like Rogue One. Not really swordplay exactly, but something similar to that. Of course, he's brought his skills to other things like the Blade series. I mean, even the Blade series, if you think, is really influenced by a lot of Japanese swordplay as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of American stuff that has tried to imitate it, but I don't know if they've actually succeeded or not. And I think that's where the Swordman really does its best job and really succeeds, is in the swordplay itself. The story, we've seen it so many times before, it's nothing new, but there's something about the swordplay and the majesty of it, and the almost like almost the haunting beauty of it, seeing somebody wielding such a powerful weapon slashing people, yet how beautifully they handled the weapon is amazing to me, man. I mean, so I really do feel that overseas movies like The Swordsman and a lot of those other ones that I talked about really do have a leg up on America as far as those type of films. I mean, I'm curious as to what you guys think. Is there any ones that equal that are from America, or do you feel that the ones overseas are still to this day the real champions? There's really no defeating them. I mean, I think The Swordsman, that's where The Swordsman succeeds. Is the swordplay amazing, man, and definitely well done, and definitely, as far as I'm concerned, beats a hell of a lot of what we have in America. I mean, 47 Ronin didn't exactly light the world on fire. I mean, just saying, man. Well, you only get trailers and English language available. Great. But I wish they would have went into featurettes on the swordplay and the training and the fight sequences, because they're absolutely amazing, man. And if you're into these type of movies, just the swordplay alone is definitely worth watching. Will America ever catch up? I kind of doubt it. If they ever do, I'm here waiting, but I won't hold my breath. Instead, I'll watch movies like Swordsman, 13 Assassins, 7 Samurai, and a whole host of others that kick the shit out of America. And then I'm seeing they have the Blu-ray digital of Horizon line for $22.99. Now, not much more really to say about this one. The only thing you really get here is deleted scenes. I just wish there was a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? What really intrigued me about even Twilight Zone the movie, right? They had that great sequence with John Lithgow where he thinks he sees something on the plane, right? And he's, oh, well, it's just my imagination. And then suddenly it's like, oh my God, there's actually something fucking weird creature, little monster. Oh my God, somebody help me. And they're thinking he's fucking nuts and crazy. Like, I just kind of wanted something a little bit more out of it. I truly did. And I don't know. See, it's kind of interesting because it's technically a very simple movie at the end of the day, and that's not a bad thing. I like simple movies, but maybe it's that I've seen so many of these type of movies, and I'm always looking for something extra, something more. Simple can be good. It's not that simple can be bad or anything, but it's got to be intriguing enough to keep me interested for those all 90 minutes. And Horizon Line just didn't quite do it. It's good, but could have been better. Just saying. Oh, they do have that. Then they also have the Blu-ray of Arc Enemy for $12.99. I am so glad to see it this year, guys. I'm not gonna lie, because this movie's weird, man. This movie's wild and weird, dude. I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime, and actually I watched it a few weeks back, and it definitely has stuck with me. This movie, man. Okay, let's get into Arc Enemy. So, Joe Manganiello plays this drunk. This down on his luck, drunk, gets beat the hell up. He's a flat out loser. And he keeps on saying that he's from another dimension, from this planet, where he's this super being, that he's the superhero to the world. And everyone's like, yeah, okay, buddy, have your next drink. Come on. He's like, I'm really a hero. I'm from another world. I have superpowers. Like, it's like, just have more vodka, you drunk. and so, you know, it's in this world where it's just crime ridden and drug ridden and violence all over the place. And this kid from the streets sort of, you know, sort of helps him out and wants to hear his story and wants to put it out there for the world. I don't know whether he believes the guy or not, but he thinks it's an interesting story worth, you know, maybe getting some social media clicks on it. So why the hell not? And slowly but surely, you're like, wait a minute, maybe this guy is not talking out of his ass. Maybe he actually is from another dimension, from another world, used to have superpowers. And it's like, is this guy crazy? Is this really going on? What is exactly happening here? And this guy has to be this vigilante that's coming and basically saving the day, essentially. It's a very interesting anti-hero tale that I was really intrigued by, man. The visuals are absolutely stunning here. The acting is pretty damn good, especially from Joe Manganiello. I kind of like Joe. I really do, man. I mean, from the Magic Mike movies, he was always good, and a few other things that I've seen him in. He's always been a decent actor. I don't necessarily say I love the guy, but I thought he's always done some interesting work, even though I haven't agreed on everything he's done. But this is one very interesting because you're straddling the line between being crazy but yet maybe telling the truth. And how far do you take that? And I like the fact that, look, he is outright somebody that's drinking his life away. He's somebody that is like, hey man, you know, I don't have my powers anymore. Nobody believes me, and I'm just gonna drink until I can't remember anymore, until I fucking pass out and puke my guts out. That's Joe Manganiello, baby. And he does a great job, man, with the scraggly beard and looking like the most homeless person that you wouldn't even like maybe like give $1 to. You're like, oh god, this guy, like, he's gonna use it for booze, isn't he? His breath. Guys, his breath could kill somebody. Like, that's who he is, man. But once you get into the surreal nature of the movie and how crazy it is, and you sort of realize to yourself, like, oh my god, this guy actually is kind of telling the truth. And he actually comes from this world. And the backstory and the vibrancy of it. Like, there's just some amazing visuals here. And it's kind of interesting because it straddles the line between live action and animation. And the animation is basically him back in his home world, saving people and flying around and being superpowered, almost like a futuristic version of Superman, I would say, or something like that. And it goes between the two, sort of the flashback world, which is the animated world, and the live action world, which is the present day world. And the visuals are really stunning. The characters are really interesting. Some are flat out anti-heroes. Others are kind of in the middle. Then there are others that are frankly straight up douchebags. So, and they are like flat out like evil motherfuckers. This thing has it all, man. It has sort of the super powered anti-hero comic book angle to it. It has almost like an ultra violent horror flick at the end of the day. The animation is pretty solid. The live action is solid. It was just a really interesting movie, and I really enjoyed this one. The movie is directed by Adam Egypt Mortimer, and if you guys don't know him, I can't say I blame you. He directed the movie Daniel Isn't Real. Now, I talked about Daniel Isn't Real last year during one of my Blu-ray pickup videos. I really love that movie. It's really surreal and dark and twisted. Really love that movie a lot, man. And so he took that same sensibility and put it into essentially like a dark and twisted superhero tale. I mean, truly, it's just real oddity to me, man. I can't say that it made complete sense to me, but I gotta admit that it was really intriguing, bizarre, weird, and oddly fascinating, and I enjoyed it. I really did, man. Arch Enemy happened to be really enjoyable in a weird anti-hero Superman type of way. Almost like if Superman went into another dimension and lost his powers, and like he became a drunk, almost like in like Superman 3, right? Like when he had like a multiple version of like Superman, like an evil Superman, and he was like drinking. He went to the bar and he was like, oh, Superman, I've got superpowers and I'll kill you with my X-ray vision. And they're like, yeah, just have some more Jack Daniels, buddy. like that. It kind of is, man. It's really weird, but it's really intriguing, fun, and the kills are cool here. They don't skimp on the blood and gore here, man. The kills are cool. The characters are really vibrant. The color palette, the designs. It's something very unique and very interesting that you've definitely never seen before. If you're into anti-hero tales, an interesting twist on perhaps almost like a Superman type hero, definitely give this one a look, man, because I guarantee you ain't seen nothing like this. And last, but certainly not least, the Blu-ray of a Shudder original, Random Acts of Violence, for $12.99. That's a pretty cool cover, man. I like that cover. Look at that. Pretty cool, almost like very comic book feel to it. With the killer. Yeah, look at that, right in the middle, baby. Jesse Williams, Jordana Brewster, and Jay Baruchel. Yes, all right. Let's get down to some brutal comic book madness. Now, I got a chance to watch this one on Amazon Prime as well, guys. Now, I was interested because of Jay Baruchel not only being in this movie, but he actually directs it as well. He actually directed one other movie that I kind of enjoy, Goon, with Sean William Scott, which actually is a pretty decent flick. So I was like, okay, he did that. I like Jordana Brewster. Interesting cast. I'm definitely going to give it a chance. Basically, it's this comic book creator played by Jesse Williams and his wife and assistant friend who are going to New York City Comic Con, and they're stopping along the way for, signings and interviews and everything like that. And what they're finding is that there's actually killings going on while they're on the road. That perhaps a killer is mimicking his comic book of Slasher Man. and the graphic imagery that is in there in order to stage the brutal killings. And basically, it's them trying to figure out what's going on, who is the killer, and trying to avoid perhaps being the ones that end up being the victims as well. Yes, very much so, guys. Now, I gotta admit, movie is pretty decent. It's not bad. I like the idea of a violent comic book spurning people on to do random acts of violence, essentially. And I like the idea of how far is too far, and what do we do with these violent images, and how society ends up interpreting them. It's actually really interesting to me, guys, and I like the message within the movie, because I remember the whole thing with Columbine that happened when I was younger, and I remember the media was like, "Oh, it's these violent movies, and it's like the Matrix, and it's Marilyn Manson, and it's these violent songs, and that's what did it and everything." And I'm like, "Wow!" It's like, okay, we're blaming the movies and the music now for people's like thirsty appetite for killing. I'm like, come on, man. Like, let's be real here. And I kind of like the idea that they're putting this in a terms of saying, wow, you have a very graphic and, bloody comic book that promotes violence, and you're taking it from real life instances, and people are terrifying others because of it, and they're worshiping this character, and it's your fault. And it's kind of thrown back at him when this person is doing these killings, and you're realizing, oh my god, they're taking influence from what he does. You can't really blame the comic book creator for doing something that he loves doing, which is doing a comic book that is successful. You have to blame the person that's doing the killings and actually perverting their thoughts into thinking that this is somehow acceptable in normal society. I like that sort of aspect to it, and I think it's really intriguing, man. I mean, outside of that, you have the really, really great killings, man, and I love the comic book style of these killings and how they recreate them. Like, whether it's like almost like these three people naked, bound together, bloody, almost like a mural, and how the killer recreates that, or the killer recreates beheadings or stabbings. It's just really brutal and truly merciless, and the gore is spectacular here. The characters leave a little bit to be desired. The main comic book creator, played by Jesse Williams, has a good arc to the character of understanding what he's wrought onto the world and how it's been twisted. Jordana Brewster playing the wife, I like Jordana Brewster, and she's actually not a newbie to the horror genre, because she ended up doing that Texas Chainsaw prequel, I believe it was, and she was actually pretty good in that too, man. I really liked her in that. So she's not new to the horror genre, but I really liked her in this, playing this woman who doesn't really like what her husband does, but at the end of the day, she supports him, but when everything is going crazy, it's just too much for her. Jay Baruchel basically plays the comic relief guy who is way in over his head, as Jay Baruchel usually plays anyways in most of the fucking films he's in. I mean, it's pretty decent. I like the comic book imagery. I like the killer on the loose, on the highway, following these people and attacking others. It definitely had sort of a joyride feel to it as well, from back in the day with Paul Walker, which I really enjoy that film as well. So there's a lot of things to really like here. It's not the best horror movie ever, and it's certainly not even the best slasher movie, but I gotta admit, it's a pretty solid entry within the slasher genre, and takes sort of the idea of comic books and spins it on its head into a killer who is mimicking Slasher Man in order to gain notoriety. And it has that really great understanding of how far is too far, and should art imitate real life? is the art responsible? Like, there's a whole lot of really great messaging here, and the killings and the deaths ain't half bad either. So, I mean, overall, I think it pretty much did the trick. Dare I say? I think it did most likely. You're gonna love it. Not so sure about that, guys. But I think you're gonna enjoy it. And for the 90-ish minutes that it was on, I thought it was a little brutal ride that I had fun with. Definitely not half bad, man. You have an interview with the director, a couple of featurettes as well. Not half bad, man, overall. Look, it's kind of interesting because I saw a fact about this movie. This movie has been in development for a really long time, and actually, truth be told, you know who was going to star in this movie a long time ago? Eminem. I'm serious. Eminem was gonna star in this motherfucker. I'm serious, man. He actually was, dude. And I'm like, Eminem? Like, you mean the rapper? He's gonna be in this movie? Oh, okay. Was he gonna rap about like his wife getting killed or some shit? And what? Okay. I don't know, man. Like, I think the movie came out good. It's not the most original film in the world. It takes a lot of elements from certain other killers, like, Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees. You even have almost an influence of like My Bloody Valentine, with sort of like The Suit almost. It has that sort of feel to it. I like mixing the comic book world with the slasher world. It's got some good flavors to it. It's not the most original thing in the world, but at the end of the day, it was fun. So I'm gonna give it a pass, man. It's not half bad. And pretty decent selection this week. Not so bad after all, dude. Some really interesting titles, some stuff we definitely haven't seen. Not so bad. And I thought it was kind of going to be a bust, because at first I was looking up there, I was like, oh shit, like that's really bad, dude. We're not going to get anything. Surprise, surprise. Definitely, before you end up saying, I give up and raising the white flag, sometimes you gotta look. And you'll be interested in what you may find. And this time around, not half bad for Best Buy. All right. Pretty good as far as I'm concerned. Let's head out. All right, not half bad, guys. They didn't quite deliver, but they had quite a decent amount of selection. Steelbook love. Pretty damn good, dare I say, guys. And, didn't quite deliver 100%, but the variety was unique at all the stores this week. And I'm damn glad for it. Hope you guys are too. Good week for physical media, dare I say. Let's head home and finish the video. Alright, everybody. That'll do it for the Blu-ray and DVD out and about video this week. And this was a rather unique and interesting out and about, wasn't it? Because literally most every place we went to, we saw something unique and interesting and different compared to the other stores. I thought that was really great, man. I'm not gonna lie, like that rarely happens. Most of the time, we're seeing the same media at all the stores, which is great. I'm a big fan of physical media. Any physical media, I'll take it, guys. But this is one of those rarities where literally we saw something different everywhere we went, and it was a different movie and talking about different topics and just diving into different physical media and showing off different stuff everywhere we went. Like, that's like a physical media fan's wet dream, isn't it? So I personally really loved it. I don't know about you guys. I thought it was kind of cool, actually. It rarely happens, but when it does, damn, it's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, man. That was really awesome. Actually, a lot of physical media to check out this week. I mean, seriously, there was a lot of stuff. When I looked on Blu-ray.com this week, I said, okay, it's pretty decent. But when you get into the stores and you see all of the physical media that's out there this week, like there is more than I think even I thought there was gonna be. It's a good week, man, for physical media lovers, movie lovers of almost every kind. There is literally something out there for you. Hopefully you guys picked up something good. If you did, definitely let me know. As far as I'm concerned, well, I actually ended up at the first Walmart location. The first one I picked up Freaky. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, Seth, it came out last week. You didn't pick it up last week? No, I actually didn't. And the reason being is that I went to all the stores that had the Blu-ray last week, and the slipcovers were damaged to shit. I mean, they were dented all to hell and crushed in, and I was like, I did not want to get any of those ones. So I was like, okay, I gotta find some avenue to get it online that's not Amazon. And I was like, oh god, what am I gonna do? And then I noticed, oh, the first Walmart has Freaky. I wonder if any of their slipcovers are in good condition and not terribly damaged. And voila, yes. I love this movie so goddamn much. And I definitely wanted it in the collection, and now thankfully I do. This is a great one, man. A great, great horror comedy that I really dug. And finally having it in great condition with the slipcover and in my hands. Yes. Oh, my horror loving hands. I am so happy to have this. Freaky. Well worth it, man. And at Best Buy, I ended up picking up Arc Enemy. I picked up the Blu-ray of Arc Enemy because I'm not gonna lie, man, I really dug this movie. Seriously, man, I thought it was a very unique and interesting take on a anti-hero superhero genre with this superhero that is anything but super, a complete and utter drunk mass loser, but you realize that he's way more than he actually appears to be. And boy, what a wild ride this movie was, man. I really enjoyed it, down to the animation stuff, to the live action, to Joe Magniello, who is awesome in this role. It's really a pretty cool one. And as far as like the director Adam Egypt Mortimer, I gotta admit, he is quickly becoming somebody that I am very much looking forward to the stuff that he does. Like I said, Arc Enemy is really awesome, and actually, now I'm over here, I can show you guys Daniel Isn't Real. This is his other film that he did. It got released by Arrow in the UK. So this is a UK edition of Daniel Isn't Real, but I'm telling you guys, this is a very surreal, dark, twisted movie, which he is really phenomenal. And I gotta say, he did the same awesome stuff here with Arc Enemy. He is slowly becoming a director. I am very curious to see what he does next, man. Both movies are really, really awesome. So I am definitely interested in what he does next. Quickly becoming very favorite director of mine. Especially if he does these very interesting, unique takes on certain genres. He's he's tapping into something really cool, stuff unique, his influences. You could really tell that he really loves to sort of think outside the box. And Arc Enemy is really unique and interesting in that, and I had to pick it up, man. And the slip is in great condition. Damn glad I have it. So, pick that one up, guys. And as far as what I got in the mail, well, what I got in the mail, guys, I ended up actually getting a package from Australia, baby. Yes, I got a package from Australia, from an Australian company. And I'm not gonna lie, this movie that I have inside here, man, is literally something that I have been waiting to be on physical media with a great special edition for a very long time. And I am serious. This is a holy grail title for me that I am so happy when it got announced. I pre-ordered this sucker as fast as I could. And this was not cheap. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This cost me a bit of money getting it from Australia. Okay, but it is so well worth it, and I wanted to pay the money because this is such a great sci-fi movie. It's one of the best alien abduction movies of all time, and to have it in the collection finally is just, to me, the absolute holy grail, dude. I love this movie so goddamn much. This is a treasure to me. Trust me, guys. This one is. Then the next thing I picked up that I actually got in the mail, I should say, is a edition from Blockbuster. Wait a minute, Blockbuster? What? Yes, I did. I actually got a movie from the last blockbuster ever, and it's actually a documentary that I am really looking forward to diving into, man. This is one that a lot of you guys really contacted me through Instagram and a couple other avenues, said, Seth, you love these type of documentaries, you gotta watch this. And of course I'm gonna listen to you guys. So I went ahead and I ordered it and I got it, and I am psyched to check this out. I truly am, man. The video rental stores, the nostalgia of it, man, I think I'm gonna love this one. So I'm definitely psyched on this one, guys. And last but certainly not least, I also got a package in the mail from Mondo Macabro, baby. Yes. Oh my god, Mondo Macabro. It's been a while, guys. Seriously, it's been a while since I got anything from Mondo Macabro, man. God. I was missing some Mondo Macabro love, dude. These I actually pre-ordered, I think in either November or December. I pre-ordered these for a long time, man. So these are finally coming to my doorstep towards the end of February, man. It is two special edition Mondo Macabro titles. One is almost like a dark fantasy film for adults, and the other is a countess who loves the blood of her servants. Yes. Oh my god. Mondo Macabro is so great, dude. I'm not gonna lie, man. They have some really out there titles, stuff I've never heard of before, and I always love taking a gamble with them. So these were the ones I had to get, dude. So man, I am so happy to check these ones out. So a little bit of Mondo Macabro love. Last blockbuster, and oh, Australia goodness. Holy Grail goodness, I should say. Oh man, some really good stuff. But you guys will not get to find out exactly what I picked up until my Blu-ray pickles video, which will drop sometime soon. It will show off all of the titles that I got for February, and my god, man, it is going to be good, dude. Limited editions, collector's editions, retro titles, Holy Grail titles, out of print love, and so much more, man. You guys know how I do it with the Blu-ray pickle videos. You know that I get some really fascinating stuff, and this month is definitely not going to disappoint. I guarantee you guys. So I think you guys are really going to love that. So definitely stay tuned, and stay tuned to the channel. Very soon we are going to be putting out our movie review for The Little Thing starring Denzel Washington. Nick and I did a movie review, which we will be putting out very soon for you guys. The following weekend, I will be putting out my Blu-ray pickup video for November of 2020. That'll finally be coming out to you guys. Plus another video or two if I'm able to get it up. I've been a little bit busy with Valentine's Day and spending time with the girlfriend and, you know, doing all that jazz. But now that's over. It's all about physical media, baby. So definitely stay tuned, because there is some very interesting and some great stuff to explore for the channel. And before I let you guys go, I don't shy away from any subject matter. You guys know this. I talk about a lot of things, and so I'm not going to shy away from this either. And it's about Gina Carano. I mean, let's talk about it. Let's get it out there, guys. So, if you guys have been paying attention, if you've been living under a rock, Gina Carano has gotten fired from Disney. Okay, she is no longer going to be part of The Mandalorian. That's it, done. And it's basically her tweets is what did her in. It was the tweets, man. And she did a lot of stuff on Twitter, but she ended up basically comparing the Holocaust and Jews to something political that's going on right now. And I don't even want to really say what she said, but let's put it this way, guys. As somebody who is Jewish, who has had family members that were part of the Holocaust, who knows people who had family that was in the Holocaust who died because of it, yeah, that's not cool. That's not cool whatsoever. And I personally took offense to it, and I know a lot of people did. And Disney just decided that's it, man. We're done. And a lot of people are talking about free speech and about, how, the cancel culture and whatnot. I've talked about cancel culture many, many times when it comes to movies, and I've put my opinion out there. It's there in the videos. This is different, man. It's just different. It is. This is not about cancel culture. It's about being a responsible and mature adult at the end of the day. It really honestly is, man. And as far as Disney is concerned, look, Disney is a company. This isn't anything personal. Look, I happen to actually like Gina Carano. I really do. I think she's been awesome in The Mandalorian. I've liked her in the movies that she's done. I've liked her in Deadpool. I've liked her in some of the action flicks that she first did when she was starting out. I happen to like her as an action star, as a female actress. I was actually one of the people that before Wonder Woman came out, I was one of the people that was like, hey, I think Gina Carano would be really cool for Wonder Woman. I was really being like, I think she would be awesome. So for me, I've been a fan of Gina Carano, so this is not anything personal against her. If she was at a convention and I got a chance to meet her, I would still meet Gina Carano. I would still get her autograph because I still respect her as an actress. But what she's done with their tweets, I can't respect. And at the end of the day, Disney is a company. They have to protect their own selves and their image. And when somebody is tweeting false stuff and derogatory statements about certain groups of people and religions, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, seriously, what do you think is going to happen, man? You're going to get the boot. That's what happens, man. I mean, nowadays, companies are covering their ass. I work for a company that every single year I have to sign a social media clause that basically, they can look at my social media, and if I say anything really, really bad or offensive or hate on the company that I'm working for, I can get fired. And I have seriously been into HR, and I kid you not, guys, I have been into HR where they have talked to me about the YouTube channel. They've talked to me about it, and they've said, oh, well, somebody was complaining about, one of your reviews, whatnot, you were holding a gun or something. And I said to them, I said, I do not talk about the company in my videos. I do not go out of my way to hate on people specifically. I'm talking about the movies themselves. And so, I had to lay it out on the line. And I did. And as long as I'm still being respectful on social media, then there's not a problem there. But there is a line that you cross. And some people is saying, well, that line with Gina Carano, she didn't cross. I think she did. I think she crossed it. And I think Disney has every right to let her go. Now, look, she's going to find more work, obviously. It's Gina Carano. She's a talented actress. She's going to find work. But at the end of the day, guys, you are responsible for your own actions. You have to be a mature adult, and you have to know that you can't just put everything out there into the world and expect there to not be consequences. There is. That's a part of being an adult. And Gina Carano just didn't understand that. And also, Gina Carano should have known better at the end of the day, guys, because you're working for Disney. You've got a plum Disney job. The fans like you. They know that the fans like you. They're going to keep you around in future Mandalorian season. Hell, she was actually close to getting her own spin-off from The Mandalorian. Why would you screw that up? I mean, even if you believe these things that you're tweeting, you just shut the fuck up. You don't post any of that stuff. because you've got it made. Why would you do this? Because you just have to open up your big mouth and you have to ruin what's already a good thing. And that's the issue, man. That's the issue. It's about responsibility, it's about maturity, it's about being an adult and owning up to your actions. And look, I've got a lot of problems with Disney. Okay, I've got a lot of problems with Disney, man. But this ain't one of them. And I have to respect Disney for doing what they thought was best. Now, there's a lot of people who say, well, they fire her, but they keep James Gunn. And I said, look, I think the James Gunn situation, I still feel that James Gunn was unfairly treated because this was way before he had gotten hired from Disney. He had talked about, those tweets before and he had apologized and it just became a whole big mess. This is very different. She was already employed with the company. She had already been doing work with them and she was still tweeting all this stuff. And by the way, Disney was putting up with a lot of stuff. She was tweeting so much stuff already, and Disney was literally giving her warnings, saying, Gina, you gotta calm down. You gotta not do this stuff. And she just wasn't listening, and she had to go. And it's about the reputation. It's about answering to investors and answering to the fan base. And also, look, you don't want to make a Mandalorian season 3 and literally the press for it and everything, everyone's going to be like, oh, well, Gina Carano was still on the show, right? Yeah, what about those tweets? And it's just going to consume the conversation, and they just couldn't have that, dude. They just couldn't. So they let her go, man. I mean, look, I wish Gina Carano only the best. I truly do, because I know at the end of the day she's gonna be fine. She's gonna be all right. She's gonna land on her feet, but this is her own fault. This is her own problem, and she made this mess. And the fact that she's not really owning up to that, the fact that she hasn't really learned her lesson, tells me that she's just going to continue to do what she's going to do. And it's a real shame because, it doesn't matter what political spectrum you're on. It doesn't matter what you believe in. At the end of the day, you have a responsibility to a fan base. You have a responsibility to a company to be respectful and your actions to be mature. And if you can't do that, then you gotta go. That's it. And that's my thought on that, guys. It really honestly is. No offense to Gina. I love her to death. I think she's a great actress. But to me, you have to account for your actions. And when you do that, what she's done with her tweets, there's no other way to go. So I side with Disney on this one, guys. I truly do. But let me know what you guys think. It's a complicated situation. There's a lot of people that think one way that this is right, that think one way this is wrong. I respect the opinions. I do. But at the end of the day, you have to take responsibility for what you do. It's part of being an adult. And a company is not just going to let you slide with every single thing. We're living in a different age, man. And you gotta sometimes bite your tongue. And if you don't, this is the result. Definitely let me know what you guys think about that. And I hope you enjoyed the video, because if you did, definitely give it the thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Check out the other Blu-ray and DVD Tuesday videos I do every single week. Theatrical movie reviews with my friends. Movie hunting like Dollar Tree videos. Blu-ray pickup videos, live streams, and much, much more. If you are a lover of movies and physical media, hit subscribe and become a part of the Film Fan Nation. I want to thank my wonderful subscribers out there. The great feedback, the comments, the support, watching the entire videos. You guys have been there for me so much, and you guys give me the love, and I hope I give the love right back to you, seriously. So thank you so much, guys, and keep up to date with everything I'm doing through Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. FilmFan108. Keep up to date with everything I'm doing, plus special pictures and videos I do from time to time on social media as well. Alright, guys, I will see you back next week for a brand new out and about video. Take care, everybody. Enjoy movies, and happy hunting, baby.